By the end of this video, you are going to know how to move from being rejected for a visa application to the UK because your proof of funds doesn't make sense to being approved, because you're going to learn everything that you need to know about proof of funds when it comes to moving to the UK for international students. So if you're new to this world, you do not know what I am talking about. What is proof of funds? Proof of funds is one of the evidence that shows that you have enough money to survive and pay for your studies in the UK. It has to prove affordability. You can pay for it. They have to do a strict verification at the embassies, and it needs to reassure the UK government that you are not going to rely on public funding, that you have enough to take care of yourself. Even if you have enough just to take care of yourself that first year, they want to see that, and that is what they are checking for. So let's talk about the math when it comes to proof of funds. What are you looking at? Here you're looking at you must show enough money to cover your full first year for course fees minus any deposits that you have already paid. So the math is total 1 year course fee. So you have to check the exact fee on your CAS document, and then the tuition minus what you have already paid, tuition deposited, tuition deposit paid, already paid into your university and listed on your CAS, equals to tuition funds required. So if you've already paid some money, that does not count towards your proof of funds. Then that leads to the tuition funds required, the first half of your total proof of funds target. One thing that you should pay attention to: if your course is less than a year, you must show the full total course fee. All right, you guys, I'm just going to take a minute here to tell you all about my database. Look at this here. MEC students, there are resources here for you. Graduate assistantships, these are those that want to go study in the US. This is your way to get scholarships to the US, graduate assistantships. Remember, I update this daily, so you never miss an opportunity. HND students, finding resources for you all is so hard. This database has scholarships, universities that accept HNDs. Definitely sign up to the database. Application fee of universities. Listen, you guys, application fees can help you save a ton of money. This is updated daily. Go ahead, sign up to the database. It has scholarships, daily updated scholarships, so you never miss any scholarships. Low tuition fee universities, no tuition universities, these are those that actually want to go study in Germany. There are tons of opportunities there. SOP samples, CV samples, research proposal samples, low GPA scholarships, newbie scholarships, rejected. If you've been rejected tons of times, what scholarships should you apply for? I used a database like this, and it helped me get 4 fully funded scholarships. So I know for a fact that if you use a database like this, you are also going to get your own scholarship. The link is in the description box. Sign up and you are not going to regret it. 6 months, 1 year, you are going to come tell me that, Dr. Watikum, I have gotten my own scholarship. Sign up to the database. Oh my goodness, even I did not know that. Okay, but I'll be wondering, unless you're going for an exchange program or unless you're going for some particular study program, I don't know any bachelor's, master's, PhD program that is less than a year. I do not know any of such things. So I think that is not going to be the case. So let's look at the proof of fund math. Living costs for 2026-2027. You must show exactly 9 months of living costs. The required amount strictly depends on your university's location. Location. If you're studying in London versus if you're studying outside of London. So let's look at if you're studying in London. So you're going to have to show 1,529 pounds per month times 9 months. So that gives you a total of 13,761 pounds. If you're outside of London, you have to show 1,171 pounds per month times 9 months. So you need to show a total of about 10,539 pounds. Something that you should pay attention, or a tip, is that you can deduct up to 1,529 from this total if you have already paid for university arranged accommodation. And university arranged accommodation is actually one of the ways that students are able to pay for cheaper accommodation compared to like living outside of university accommodation or living outside of campus. I will think that it will be one cheaper, and also the processes to get it, you probably have to go through the university and things like that. So I think living in university accommodation should definitely be something that anyone as an international student, you should be targeting, trying to get yourself into those university accommodations. I'm sure there are lists and lists. I don't know how long waiting will be for the UK, but definitely research what are the university accommodations that are provided. All right, the golden rule. Here we are looking at the 28-day timeline. Your total required money must sit in your bank account for 28 days without ever dropping below the target amount. So you have to put the full sum and then let that full sum be there for these 28 days. So the funds must remain entirely untouched for 28 consecutive days. So this is your account balance, danger line minimum required amount from day 1 right through till day 28. So if the balance drops even by £1 for a single day, your visa will be refused. Oh my goodness. Your bank statement must be printed within 31 days of applying for your visa. Oh my goodness. Wow. So they check it like each day, the balance for each day for the last 28 days, just to be sure that it did not drop by £1. Oh my God, that is very, very strict. But you all know now, so pay attention to something like that. And who is allowed to hold the money? In whose name can your money be? You cannot use a bank account belonging to just anyone. It must belong to you, your parents, or your partner. So here you have approved sponsors, your own personal bank account, your parents or legal guardians account, which requires birth certificate and a consent letter, those two things, or your partner's account, but only if you all are applying for visas together. So if you're going by yourself, it still has to be in your name. Those are rejected sponsors, uncles, aunts, cousins, friends, or corporate business accounts. I think the idea here is proximity to you. Like, how close is that person to you? You all know how they always talk about what does they say? First proximity relative. Like sometimes I always say just the family members or whatever, like first family, for example, father, mother, sister, and then the next one is like aunts, uncles, whatever. So it has to be that first family proximity to you. All right, let's look at paperwork that the UK embassies are going to accept. So the UK government only accepts specific highly regulated financial documents to prove your funds. No crypto, no stocks, no property. So here you have personal bank statements. These are like standard statements or building society passbooks. Mostly this is provided by banks. Your bank where your money is, they are going to give you the personal statement. Official bank letters, a stamp letter directly from your bank confirming your balance. They need that. And an official sponsorship letter, for example, formal documentation from a national university organization or international organization. Student loan letters, official approval letters from government regulated educational student loan institutions. Sometimes I always get very torn about the student loan institutions, like unless it is a body that is coming from your original country that is giving you that study loan, because back in your home country they have ways that they can get back that money. Maybe your family served as like guarantors, maybe they gave in some kind of collateral security towards it. Then it makes sense for all of that, like for you to be able to get let's say some kind of loan from these organizations. Because if it is in a foreign country like in the UK, I don't think you can get, as a new student, I don't think you can get any loans from any organizations there, unless somebody's trying to scam you. All right, anatomy of a perfect bank statement. Your bank statement must display specific details, official details, to be accepted by the immigration officer. I do not even know this information because I had a scholarship, so I've never submitted something like this. So you have the account holder name. It must be clearly shown in your exact name or your parents' names. Bank branding. It must show the bank's official name, printed logo, and your account number. Then the 28-day period. It must cover the full 28-day period showing the money never dipped below the required amount. Wow. And then closing balance and date. The final balance date must be less than 31 days old on the day you apply. Oh my goodness. I wonder if, thinking about how many people really go through the process of applying for things like let's say visas and embassies, I wonder how they are able to verify this kind of information. Is if it's done manually, if it is done by a computer, like who gets to decide and check all of these things? It sounds very cumbersome to me, like checking all of these details. Anywho, let us talk about something that sounds like me: scholarships and government sponsors. If you're officially sponsored, the rules adapt, but you must strictly cover any funding gaps. For example, total required funds: 40% personal bank funds, 60% partial scholarship or government award. If it's a fully funded scholarship by a government, provide their official confirmation letter. Your university CAS will state if you are fully, if they are fully funding you, right? Like if you get a fully funded scholarship, you're going to get the letter showing that. And if your scholarships covers only part of your cost, you must show the personal statements for the remaining balance. So I think if you're going to study in the UK, you can apply for like partial funding, full funding based off of your financial situation. And then from there, you can now give them whatever document that they are asking for you in case you get just partial funding. You all apply for scholarships, you guys. You all apply for scholarships. My database has scholarships. Apply for those, right? Now let's look at the mistakes that you are going to make and they are going to reject your application. Number one is sudden deposit. Do not deposit a massive amount of money the day before you print your bank statement. If you do that, you are going to reject it. You're going to be rejected. Funds must mature in the account for the full 28 days. Sudden unexplained deposits look highly suspicious to immigration officers who verify your finances. So please, please, please make sure that the full sum stays in your account for the required 28 days, such that you do not risk the chance of them rejecting your visa application. Fatal mistake number two: ignoring currency rates. This is something that most of us do not even think about. If your money is not in British pounds, currency fluctuations can unexpectedly ruin your application. For example, the UK embassies, they calculate your total using the Rwanda exchange rate on the exact day you apply. If your local currency loses value overnight, your proof of funds might suddenly fall below the legal limit. So now they have this exchange rate showing which is the safe zone. So in that case, I think it is better to always, if you're planning on going to study in the UK, keep your proof of funds in pounds, because you know that regardless, it is the no matter how currency fluctuations happen, or if you're going to keep it in your currency, keep it way above the required limit, that no matter what happens, no matter how much currencies change, it cannot just all of a sudden lose all of its value. That is like the safest place to be. But no, the safest place, yes, two options to be safe: keep either a lot more in your local currency, or just keep it in British pounds, so you don't have to go through convert already and then keep it in British pounds, so you don't have to go through the hassle of, oh, something happened and the currencies have changed. So let's look at how officers assess your credibility. Immigration officers review your finances to ensure you are a genuine student, not an illegal worker. Oh my God. So they are checking for the genuine student profile and they are verifying your financial evidence. So what is going on here is they check if the money was acquired legally and logically, it matches your background. They verify the authenticity of the documents directly with your bank. And then any forged documents result in immediate visa refusal and a possible 10-year UK ban. We do not want to start having, it's okay if you get refused, you can accept, you can apply the next year. When we start talking about bans, then that is where we are now in very treacherous waters. We are now talking about things that I do not like to talk about. Like, no, 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 we don't want to get to the point where anyone is getting banned because documents are not enough or whatever is going on. We don't want to get there. Okay. So let's look at your proof of fund timeline strategy. Start organizing your money months before your actual visa application date to guarantee success. 2 months before, what should you be doing? You should move all your required money into the correct acceptable bank account, okay? 1 month before, let the money sit entirely untouched for the entire to pass the strict 28-day rule. And then on application day, print the bank statement and submit your visa application. These are the 3 things that you should do in order to prepare yourself and submit a proof of funds that it is not going to be rejected. You have to do these things so that you do not get rejected. So the checklist that you should have in this process is verify these 4 pillars before you click submit on your visa application. The math. Does your total perfectly cover 1 full year tuition plus 9 months of living costs? Please make sure of that. The people, is your bank account in your name, your parents' names, or your partner's names? And remember, for your partner, it is that you both of you have to be moving to the UK together. And then the timeline, has the full amount sat untouched for 28 consecutive days? And then the paperwork, does the statement feature the official bank logo, your name, and a recent closing date? All of this information is important for you to verify such that you can be sure that you are not going to get rejected. Please, please, please check this out. Make sure you're following the rules, because if you do not follow all of these rules, then you are going to be rejected, and that is not good for anybody.